Hi Sagar, I'm visible, audible.
One sec, ma'am. Just let me check. Yes, ma'am. Audible
Okay,
as well as yeah.
okay, thank you, sir. Sagar, Yogesh sir joining?
हो मॅम, ते बोलले होते एक 9:30 पण जॉईन करतो, मी फोन करतो आणि माझं बोलणं झालं होतं त्यांच्याशी.
ठीक आहे ना, 1 मिनिट आहे अजून, ही विल जॉइन.
त्याशिवाय आपले पार्टिसिपेंट्स जॉईन करतात अजून. त्यांना रिमाइंडर दिलं, अर्चना मॅमला मी सांगितलंय.
ओके ओके ओके, ठीक आहे सर.
Yogesh sir also joined, I guess.
सर नमस्ते.
योगेश सर नमस्कार. म्यूट
गुड मॉर्निंग.
तुमचं.
गुड मॉर्निंग एव्हरीवन.
गुड मॉर्निंग. गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
सर कसे आहात?
छान, व्यवस्थित.
Good.
Just before starting the session, I'll just introduce Vice Professor Dr. Vaishali Patil ma'am. She is the convener for IIC. Then Dr. Swapnil Dambe sir, he heads the innovation lab, Innovi lab, which we have, and
Good morning,
Redic
sir.
lab. Good morning. Garima Sharma ma'am, she is the ARIA coordinator for us, and she is a researcher as well as handling the HR department.
Great.
And Amay, he working with Innovi team. He is a strong backbone for us with handling all the operations in the back end.
Great.
Yeah.
Welcome, sir.
Some of the.
Thank you so much. It's good to back to Velinkers. So,
yeah. Nice
13 years back, I did my program in executive program, and it's always good to back. Normally, we used to come there for alumni meets, and the last I attended was. Excuse me. Last I attended was 2019 only.
Oh.
And after that, everything changed.
I know that. That's great. Nice to see you with your own, alma mater institute, and we are really welcome you. And Sagar must have given you the background of the students and what is the purpose of this session.
So are these only MBA design students or everyone?
No, everyone. MBA with across the batches. So we had, but MBA only, the junior first year students.
all first year students, retail, rural, healthcare, e-biz, business analytics, core PGDBM.
Okay.
Everyone is here.
So I guess it's 9:32. We can start because some of them are joining. So the students' legacy thoda late aate, but we can start by this now.
We can start.
Is it
Yes.
okay, sir? Sure.
Yes. Yes. Let's start.
Just 1 second. Just 1 minute. Start the recording. So good morning, one and all. Being studying for master's degree, daily seeing examples of business and how to manage the business. Many of the times we think, let's start something new. But how one should go ahead? What are the opportunities for the early stage entrepreneurs? Am I being successful or it will be a failure? So how an incubator accelerators how can help me? So that's the question which we always have in our mind, and the same topic we are going to discuss today with the speaker. So I welcome Mr. Yogesh Brahmankar sir. He is the speaker of our today's session. Dr. Vaishali Patil ma'am from V School, Dr. Garima ma'am, Dr. Swapnil Dambe, esteemed faculties, and dear students. Before we start our session, let me give a brief introduction about our speaker, Professor Yogesh Brahmankar sir. He is head incubation and entrepreneurship at SCEI, Symbiosis Center of Entrepreneurship and Innovation. He is also a program evangelist, MBA for Symbiosis International University, Pune. Mr. Yogesh Brahmankar holds a post-graduation degree in management and bachelor's in mechanical engineering from Pune. He is currently on panel with CII, India Innovation Initiative as a startup mentor ambassador, Ministry of Corporate Affairs certified master trainer for startups. He is a TRIZ level 1 certified professional. He is also a certified trainer for Lean Six Sigma and ISO 9001, ISO 14001, 5S, and TQM. Professor Yogesh Brahmankar sir has a blend of industry and academic experience. He has worked with Department of Defense Production, Ministry of Defense, Government of India in field of quality assurance and management. He has 11 years of experience in quality assurance and process improvement. Being passionate towards the teaching and training, he moved to academics. His areas of interest in are service innovation, entrepreneurship, business model, and all. Just to add on, Mr. Yogesh is also an alumnus of Wellinger Executive Education. So we welcome Yogesh Brahmankar sir and request him to share his thoughts on today's topic, accelerator incubation opportunities for students and faculties, those are in early stage entrepreneurs. Over to you, sir.
Once again, good morning and thank you so much. And thank you so much for warm welcome. It's always pleasure to be back to V School. And whatever I'm pursuing today is a result of, I will say, my V School education. And I owe a lot to the V School and all my V School colleagues, faculty members and mentors. So thank you so much for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to come back to alma mater and share something which I maybe discovered in last few years. So let us start. So the topic for this session.
With the permission, we'll switch off our video so that we'll be able to.
Yes, no issues. No
Okay,
issues. Yeah. So the topic which we were discussing as per Institute's Innovation Council discussion, that we need a lot information on incubators and accelerators. So that's the topic for the day, and I'm going to share a couple of thoughts on entrepreneurship, couple of thoughts on opportunities in the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem, and then what is in it for the teachers and what is in it for the students, maybe MBA students, because most of the times it is thought that innovations or some technology innovations or patents, it's only for engineering students or IITians or so. So it's not like that. And how the ecosystem is actually gearing up, how ecosystem is ready to support all of us. When I say all of us, it is students and teachers both. So I'm going to talk on those both the aspects. I'm going to share my learnings, the factual information which is available openly, but about the ecosystem and how we can leverage these opportunities for both students and teachers. So I'm sharing my presentation here. I request Mr. Sagar, please just once, if you can confirm Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
Thank you so much, Sagar. So let's go ahead. So that's the topic: acceleration and incubation, opportunities for students and teachers in the I&E ecosystem. That is innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem. So let us start with the why. So first 5 minutes or so, I'm going to discuss more about entrepreneurship and why entrepreneurship. And if you see this, the Harvard Graduate School of Education and the National Foundation for Teachers in Entrepreneurship found that youth who are taught about entrepreneurship, they show a positive change in attitude and strong success orientation, and are more likely to be focused on academic and professional achievements, aspiration, leadership. Many times a normal MBA students has that apprehension that it is not for me. I'm not going to start a startup. I want to go to corporate and I want to become CXO in next 10 years or 12 years or so. It's fine. It's fine. So entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship education, it's not only about startups, or you have to start your own business, or you have to start your own enterprise, or you have to innovate something. No. Entrepreneurship education, if you see this Harvard Graduate School of Education and the National Foundation in the United States, what it says, after the research, they have come to this. It shows a positive change in attitude and strong success orientation. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that in students or teachers community, who are more likely to focus on academic and professional achievements? Who doesn't want that? So we always say that entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship education, it's all about creating entrepreneurial minds. It's not only about creating startups. Excuse me. Let's go ahead with this. So how our ecosystem is gearing up. This is pretty old. It's almost 2 years old now, almost 13, 14 months. We are, all of us are kind of almost working from home or so. So when I say old, I have to remember those timelines. It's more than 2 years old now. And the underlined sentences, I would like to read them for all of you. This can be achieved by taking innovation, technology, and a startup as a key instrument to gear up the socio-economic development process and adopting reformative policy approaches to get out of the job seeker tag and making HEIs, that is higher education institutes, innovative and entrepreneurial in function. So it's not only about entrepreneurship education, promoting startup, promoting entrepreneurial mindset, developing entrepreneurial mindset. We, as higher education institutes, I understand, means I myself, I am from V School, and I'm proud of it. And I have seen that dynamism even 13, 14 years back also. And it's one of the most dynamic academic environment you get in Mumbai kind of scenario. But as a whole, as institutions, higher education institutions, now there is need to become innovative and entrepreneurial in function. And I see a lot there in the V School. It's already there, because I think the Innovi lab itself is there from last 14 years or so. Yeah, we have been seeing this kind of labs, or MBA design course is already there. And we see a lot of proactiveness there in the faculty members. So I'm not just praising for the sake of praising, or just for the sake of, yeah, you pat my back and I pat yours. No, that's already there. But the need is that, can we do things differently to promote that entrepreneurial mindset in both teachers and students? And that is where ecosystem, this is from Ministry of Education, the earlier Ministry of HRD, and they have launched an innovation cell, and your IIC is a part of that ministry's innovation cell, which Sagar is handling. And now they have come up with this national innovation startup and innovation policy, which I'm going to talk maybe in my later part of my presentation, where ecosystem is here. And the point I want to make is here, we have all the information and knowledge about, and now it's on our part to do something. How many years we'll keep doing the same things? If we keep doing the same things, the results won't change. If we expect the results to be different, if we expect that outcomes to be different, we have to start doing or start pursuing different things. Then only the outcome will change. When I completed or graduated out of my engineering in the exactly around 20 years back, I never heard a word startup. I openly say this, and I did not know the spelling of the word entrepreneurship. You look at the ecosystem today, 13, 14-year-old guys, they're coming with a technology solution, not only coding, and they are calling themselves as entrepreneurs, and they're thriving, they're making money, they're getting funding. Second year engineering students are launching startup with a team of 30. So the situation had changed. Let's move ahead. So what is an entrepreneurial mindset? So I understand there are a couple of people on Zoom and there are people watching on YouTube also. But I would like to pause for a moment, and the people who are on Zoom, faculty members and students, if you can unmute and answer, or if you can type something in the chat box. I have access to the chat box also. So what is an entrepreneurial mindset? We should see some 20-30 messages. I see there are 120 odd participants there on Zoom. If you'd like to type something in the chat box. So what do you mean by an entrepreneurial mindset? I don't see any responses there. You can unmute and say something. The people who are on Zoom. I would like to pause for a moment and hear all of you. I see some messages coming up. Only one. Yeah. If you're from mobile, then it will take a little more time. So let me read those messages. Taking risk, looking for the opportunity. Ashutosh is saying, in every odd situation, perfect. Reshma is saying, taking risk. Exactly. Yes. Anand Prajapati, pick up the problem and solving them. Wow, you are on the right track, all of you. Way of thinking that enables you to overcome challenges. Perfect. Ameya, Payal, foresightedness. Perfect. So you know it. Yeah. Only 5 messages. 120 people are there. At least 1/5 of it. 25 messages. Responses. Any more? Anyone would like to unmute? You might have gone through these kind of sessions. Dr. Archana is saying need analysis. Yes. Solving the problems by need analysis, problem analysis. Madhavi is saying being optimist with a purpose to bring in change. Yes, I'm going to talk on this. Thank you so much, Madhavi. So let's move ahead. You can keep maybe typing that and people would read that. Let's move ahead with this. So it should not be injustice with others. Let me thinking out of the box, take continuous action on your ideas, skill of communication, understanding people. Reshma, thank you. Skill of communication. Yes. So let's go ahead. These are the few characteristics we say that this is an outcome of research. This is not Yogesh Brahmankar or SCAI is saying. This is from multiple research articles we narrowed down. These are the 6 major dominant characteristics of an entrepreneur. Curious and observant. You already said it. Are you curious and observant? Do you question the situation? Why it is like this? Can we solve the problem? Moderate risk taker. You already said it. Ready to experiment. Experimentation is something. So risk taking and experimentation goes hand in hand. If you are not ready for experiment, that means you are just looking for something. If this goes right, then only I will do it. Ready for experimentation and failures. Unless you experiment, try, you will not move ahead. And it's not guaranteed that 1 + 1 is equal to 2 always. Get disturbed by problems around, gather team support and problem solving attitude. I think most of these things you already typed in the chat box. And I really appreciate that all of you are on the track. You understand what is an entrepreneurial mindset. So risk taking is one of the highest ability. But there is one thing which is not mentioned here, which is resourcefulness. Entrepreneurs are resourceful, or the people having that entrepreneurial mindset, whether they are working in the organization or they are having their own enterprise. I repeat, the people having entrepreneurial mindset, whether they are working in the organization or they are having their own enterprise, they are resourceful. They leverage the resources, they bring the resources together to solve the problems. And that's how they take the risk, and they have that problem solving attitude. And they experiment that and they deploy these resources together. So that is one of the very important entrepreneurial characteristics, resourcefulness. They gather the team support and then they start solving the problem. Let's move ahead. I'll continue with the same thread. Now, what is in it for education institutes? Because we have both faculty members and the students here, and as Mr. Sagar has communicated with us that it is for both. The session is for both. Higher education institutes need to develop a new perspective. It's not that higher education institutes are not doing it. They are already doing it, but we need to now go one step ahead. And we have to change our way of doing things. We have to look at what is being new offered. So industry expertise, guest lectures, experts coming and teaching, yes, that was an era. Can we go beyond that? Can we move towards experiential learning? Can we move towards project-based learning? Yeah, there are many times when students work on startups, I myself observe at my program itself that when students work on startups, they need a lot of time, and then we have some academic constraints there. Can we find out innovative solutions? And government itself is supporting us to find out that solution. Government is asking, if somebody is working on startup, you can give him 6 months leave, even for a faculty member or student. And that is where institutions are invited by Ministry of Education to adopt to these kind of policies and design their own policy at their institute level. They are given a broader framework at national level, which I'm going to share also. So this kind of change is required. Now here is something which is very interesting for MBA students, because we understand that at national level, the ratio is not that out of 120 MBA students, 20 become entrepreneurs, not even 20. In future, they might, maybe after 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years of experience, they might leave their corporate jobs and they may start something in the area of their expertise and domain. Like marketing students, they start their own distributorship, or they start their own, they start manufacturing the product because they understand the trade secrets. They get access to the manufacturing ecosystem. But when you pass out from the college, immediately, very few, like out of 100, 1 or 2, out of 500, 3 or 4 students start. So what is in it for other students? There is a concept of entrepreneurship. I'm sure that you might have heard this word and terminology called intrapreneurs or entrepreneurship. Gifford Pinchot is the person who coined this term. Entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the dreamers who do, those who take hands-on responsibility for creating innovation in any kind of within an organization. So these are entrepreneurial minds within the organization. And that is where educational institutes should promote entrepreneurial mindset and culture of experimentation to create better entrepreneurs, because you're placing them into corporates. Making students aware of the mistakes are acceptable, because unless they do this, they won't excel in their corporate jobs also. And if you look at corporates, and some companies have already started calling on like calling for jobs on LinkedIn. They already started that we are looking for entrepreneurs, we are looking for problem solvers, we are looking for innovative mindset. What is that? This will come through this kind of education. So culture of experimentation, culture of mistakes accepted. Okay, pilot, try, attempt, experiment, and then somewhere you will get success. So experience of that failure is also required. Unless you attempt, you won't fail. People don't attempt even, and they said, I never fail. And if you don't fail, how do you grow? How do you understand the whole gamut, the dynamic? Because the whole world is dynamic. Yeah, and we are going through a very different situation, so you understand the dynamism. So I'm inviting all of you to pursue this. I'm inviting my faculty mentors, faculty colleagues there in B School. Can we start doing that? And we have to imbibe this in everywhere in our pedagogy, teaching learning processes, teaching learning methodology, the way we handle the projects. Yeah, students would be very happy when I'm talking this, but there is a lot of onus there on students also. Because many times we do projects for the sake of doing the project. Don't take it otherwise. But can we work on very small problem around the school? Can we go and see, yeah, what's happening there at the other railway stations, outside railway stations? Can we solve that particular problem? And this is how a lot of big unicorns came. But okay, we can't be unicorn. Okay, fine. But can we solve the problem at least? I'm not talking about social work. And it can give a very good value proposition in the market, and you can have commercially viable enterprise. At least these projects will give you a lot of learning, that what you experience while solving the problem, what kind of resistance from the people, what kind of responses from the people. So again, there is a question, why to work on new ideas? And here I would like to invite even faculty members. Understand your cameras are off or videos are off, completely fine. But if you can unmute and say something, or even students, if you can type in the chat box, I'm again opening the chat box here. Why to work on new ideas? Can you answer this why? Now we have 146 people, including me here on Zoom, and maybe a few people there on the YouTube. So the people here who are in this particular group on Zoom, why to work on innovative ideas, or why to work on new ideas? Why? To set a trend, Siddharth Jain. Okay. Anything else, Siddharth, or anybody else? bypass competition, because world is constantly evolving. China's Abhijit is saying bypass competition. Okay. To change the near future, give advantage of first mover in the market. Marketing students, Archana, yeah, first mover in the market. See, even late entrants are also leader. Geo was never the first mover. Just to give an example, they started focusing on something niche with, of course, a breakthrough technology, and that's how they became leader. It gives the new mindset to think. Sagar sir. To explore new possibilities, put suggestions into actions. To explore new possibility, put suggestions into action. What else? Only 10 messages, 146 people. Can we see 10%? 14 people. To add value to the changing society, meet their needs and wants. Wow, perfect, Mayuresh. If it would have been a class or a session, in a case like that, I would have asked you to elaborate more on that. It provides a possibility to make things better than the were in the past. Perfect. Siddharth, Siddharaj. Yeah. Any more responses? Understand it takes time. There is always a lag. We'll wait for a while and then we'll do that. Why entrepreneurs are required? Yeah. Can we see some responses for this? Amisha, because many great inventions have happened only after brainstorming idea. Changing needs call new solutions. Dr. Iyer, Professor Iyer. Amisha, I said, Ashutosh Patidar, to utilize the current resources in more efficient ways. Changing needs call for newer. Yeah. Abhijit, they are job providers. Why entrepreneurs are required? So I have a next question there on the screen. Why to work on new ideas? And then I have a question there. Why entrepreneurs are required? New ideas lead to the making of any new product, services, and process. Exactly. You nailed it. So entrepreneurs, all of you know it, but just to reiterate it here, that they are an important part of economy. They are responsible for this economic cycle. They are not only job providers, but they consume a lot of resources. They bring people together. They bring resources together. And it gives a lot of momentum to this, our economic cycle. They solve problems in the society. They solve problems by offering solutions. They're offering new products and services. And I always say that, yeah, like 15 years back, think about life 15 years back. 15 years, if you think it is too short, go back 20 years back and look at what kind of products and services we were using. We were not using this, but it's not only about mobile phones and gadgets. There's so many different products. We were not talking like this 20 years back. So many products and services you use. Half the services are here, or more than 60% of services you are consuming are here on your digital screen, mobile phone in your hand, in your pocket. We were not using these services 20 years back. We were not using these kind of products 20 years back. We were not using AirPods 20 years back, or even 5 years back. So look at the life. Now entrepreneurs have been looking at the situation. They're observant, they're curious, they're risk takers. And they solve the problems and commercialize their innovations. And they bring that to the market which we consume. And that's why, to make our life better, easier, comfortable, better solutions for the mankind, entrepreneurs are required. And you can see this, observe the situation. Last 14 months, all of us have been fighting with this unknown virus. And you've seen even on the Government of India websites, different websites like Agni portal or Startup India portal or some Department of Science and Technology portals that call for COVID innovations. And we have seen a huge number of innovations, technology innovations and healthcare innovations there being provided by the young entrepreneurs. And most of them are implemented. It's not only about apps, it's about the products, technology, which is solving the problem and which will permanently also solve problems in the healthcare ecosystem or for healthcare infrastructure. Solve problems in society around and contribute You already said this. I'm sure all of you have gone through somewhere in the management education. What do you mean by sustainable development goals of United Nations? There are 17 sustainable development goals, like access to education, uh, uh, eradicate poverty, like that, then sustainability, ecological sustainability. And if you align your ideas, if you align your curriculum, if you are aligned when you do academic projects even, or 20 marks assignments also, if you align this to one of these goals and the whole class works on that, you will be definitely seeing lots of new ideas coming there. And if you brainstorm these ideas, you will get some feasible solutions also. So are we aligning it? Because 17 SDGs are summarizing all the problems in the world in those 17 classifications across countries. And we are an emerging or developing economy. We are not a developed economy. Our population is huge. We still have a lot of things to be like, we need lots of improvements in multiple things, like for example, healthcare infrastructure, education. You are in Mumbai or you are studying in Wellington, you are in top 1% of India's population. If you go 50, 60 kilometers away from your college or institute, go to Thane district and go to a place called in Jawar or Thane and Palghar district, I have to say now. And you will see in tribal area, people don't have food. There are multiple problems. It's not about food, logistics, supply chain. So many other issues are there. Yeah. They don't know what to do, how to spend their day and how to earn their living. No. So these 17 SDGs, they summarize the problem across the globe. And that is for the betterment of the mankind. If we keep addressing SDGs, we will keep improving on those lines in all those areas. One SDG addresses many areas. So I invite all of you to, even if you go on Google and if you type 17 SDGs or 17 SDGs of UN, you will get that 17 wala graphical image. So I invite all of you, I urge all of you to study that and link your projects to that, link your curriculum, pedagogy, or some activities for my teachers, for some activities in our curriculum. Can we link it to that? And we can adopt that in our national policy when you are implementing national startup and innovation policy at your institute. Ecosystem is supporting in all the ways I already spoke. So what is an entrepreneurial ecosystem? And this is coming from a research paper for my faculty friends here, Eisenberg 2011. So these are the 6 elements of an entrepreneurial ecosystem. Government stakeholders, policy, regulatory support, financial support like venture capitalists, funding agencies, human capitalists. We are part of human capital. Educational institutes are part of human capital. Customers and entrepreneurial networks, because unless you have access to different entrepreneurial networks, incubators, accelerators, or different networks of entrepreneurs on LinkedIn or in physical setup, you can't grow as an entrepreneur. Like there are networking organizations like BNI, Business Network International. For you growing your business, you have to have access to this kind of organization. They say in entrepreneurship that network is net worth. Yeah. So socio-cultural factors are there. You can't have all solutions, all products across India. Means any product, if you innovate into a product, it will work in one particular geographic area. It might not work in another geographical area. Yeah, it might not work in some other state. Something works in Gujarat might not work in Madhya Pradesh or Maharashtra, like that. So there are socio-cultural factors. But these 6 are entrepreneurial, means you can say innovation, entrepreneurship, ecosystem elements are there. Now this is being discussed a lot because when faculty members are also attending this session, there is a lot of scope for research in all these 6 areas. And there is a lot of scope for getting government funded projects or apply to the government, maybe state government. There is Rajiv Gandhi Technology Commission in Maharashtra, and at national level, there is Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Education. There is NSTDB, National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board, which is under DST. There are lots of projects, they keep coming, and most of the research, if you align this to these 6 elements of an ecosystem, there is high chance that you get a government funded project to work on. And as you are a Mumbai University affiliated institute and a recognized institute, I think everyone is eligible, the institutes are eligible to apply to these kind of projects. I will come to that part again for our teachers and faculty members. Even students and teachers can apply together. Most of the projects are like 3 to 6 months kind of projects, or one year project. Students can be part of that. PhD students can be part of the longer projects. I don't know whether PhD students are attending this session. Let's move ahead. So a couple of things I would like to show purposely on screen. Yeah, so all of you might have seen the Startup India website, and you have seen Momentum, or in a couple of other sessions, like Mr. Arjun Panchal might have come and spoken about lots of things on entrepreneurship and ideas. But why I'm showing this particular screen is, yeah, the source is Startup India website. See, when they are evaluating new ideas, what they are talking about, when they are evaluating new ideas for funding everywhere, and this is the standard national format. Okay, they are Startup India is also, there is seed fund grant, which they fund through incubators. Yeah, and that is where there is need for startups to have an attachment with incubator and get incubated, because you get a lot of mentoring support. I'll come back to what incubators provide. But this particular funding also goes through incubators. They are funding about 10 lakhs per startup, or sometimes more also, depending on the technological requirements of that particular startup. But they're talking about feasibility of the idea, market size, market gap. Some faculty members spoke about the gap, mid gap. So are you really solving a real world problem? So when you work on an innovation, or when you work on new ideas, you need to prove that what is the problem and how big is the problem. And for that, how big is the problem? You need to do a lot of research in a systematic manner. It's not only your classmates and some other friend's classmate and you forward a Google form or Survey Monkey. No, it won't work unless we prove that there is a problem and how big is the problem. And that is where you will see young entrepreneurs are thriving. They understand the problem, or they first understand the problem, depth of the problem by their research work or market research. So, and then they come up with the value proposition solution that people say, oh, this is what, because why people will buy something what you will offer. Many times entrepreneurs make mistake that they push their product. Yeah, this is something will work. You discuss in your teams, you discuss in a team of 40 maybe, and then you say, this is what we want to do. Market is not like that. Sorry, I'm not demoting, but see, market is what the market wants, what people want. If something is solving their problem, they will definitely buy. Because when a business transaction happens, शिफ्टिंग टू हिंदी, तो सामने वाले की जेब से पैसा मेरी जेब में कब आता है? तो सामने वाले की जेब से पैसा अगर आपको निकालना है, that means you have to offer a very good value to them. Are you solving that? Then people will see, is it solving my problem? When people say, I need this, I want this, so you have to go and find out what exactly. And for that, a thorough market research is important. That's the only purpose I wanted to show this. And they are looking at your team, technical expertise. So you have to develop your core competency. An entrepreneur cannot do everything. You cannot be a coder and you cannot be a digital marketer as well. You can spend some time to guide your team on that. But if you're a coder, you are a coder. If you are working on a business domain, you're a business domain. And mostly it happens with MBA students. They are confused. Where should I focus? You look at your passion, look at your expertise, develop that, deep dive into that. And there is opportunity nowadays to a lot of courses or like people undermine these courses, but no, you can develop an expertise by online courses also. You can find out your mentors. You have to dig into the LinkedIn, who are the top 10 people, top 15 people in that domain. And that's how you build a team. You become expert in one area, then you look at complementary skill set. Yeah. And then, of course, there are financial requirements of it. But the focus I wanted to hear, how students or innovators, even teachers are innovating nowadays. I really appreciate that dynamism is coming into the educational institutes now. Students, teachers working together, and teachers are also filing patents. So to find out the problem by observation, around prove that problem by research, maybe initially the secondary and then primary research. Yeah, and prove that how big is the problem, and then start working on those solutions. Many times we are in hurry of offering that solution. It might not help. So some patience is required, experimentation, some failures are required. Okay, and this is where like to whom they fund, this is the eligibility criteria. You have to register yourself as a startup. So many times what happens, I have seen in MBA school that they want to go for a job, but they have worked on a very nice project in the first semester or second semester. So why don't you register yourself as a company? There is no harm. See, if you join a corporate and then you want to register a company, it's a harm in as per most of the companies' code of conduct. But if you already have a DIN number on your name and then you join a corporate, nobody will object that. So if you already register a company when you're in college, people wait for some perfection. Don't wait for perfection. Don't wait for perfection. You have to follow an experimentation approach. Nobody is perfect. Yeah, you look at the products we are using today and look at the same product in market, which is very popular product, how it would look, used to look like 10 years back. When look at toothpaste and soap, and like, you will feel, oh, they were so pretty ugly earlier. So nothing is perfect. So I urge students and faculty members, if you have an idea and you have developed something, why don't you write a write-up on that instead of only publishing research paper or so? Why don't you talk to IP experts in your institute and somewhere? Why don't you file a patent, create a block diagram of that solution, create a wireframe of that solution, parallelly go and register a company? It takes hardly 5 to 10,000 Indian rupees, less than that many times. And this will really give lots of benefits to you. And it will give you a lot of confidence. And you can start working on multiple things. It's not only one thing. Leverage your expertise. Keep observing, keep doing. And teachers can give a lot of problem statements to students and they can work together. Yeah, we do hackathons. You might have seen, or Wellington also does hackathons. Recently, I think there was some hackathon, and where I think Wellington students did excel. So in hackathons, what is that? Problem statements are given. But can we be observant and we can come one step before that? Can we even identify the problem statements? And this can be an assignment, and teachers and students can narrow down to 10 problem statements, and then this can be discussed across V-School, across programs. And then you can link these problem statements even to sustainable development goals. And next, after 3 months, you start working on the solutions. You might get only one solution, but it's not bad. It's not bad. 15 people can file a patent together. Nothing wrong in that. Going ahead now for teachers and students both. So maybe in the next 5 to 7 minutes, I'll close my presentation and then we are open for question and answer. This is something which is coming up now. What we call is NISP, National Innovation and Startup Policy. And these are the 10 areas. So 5 on this screen and 5 on next screen, where government is asking us, institutes, universities, to implement and have a policy, adopt to NISP, and focus on these 10 areas to promote innovation and entrepreneurship culture in the institute. So it's not only for students, it's for faculty members also. Leave rules, they're talking to amend the rules. If somebody is working on a product, filed a patent, give them 6 months leave for students and teachers both. Startups enabling institution infrastructure, ownership rights, IP. Now you might have seen even through IIC, they are promoting like importance of intellectual property and file more and more number of patents. Our corporates have understood that in last 15 years. 15 years back, even our corporates never understood the importance of intellectual property. Now they have understood. Now it is time for us to understand and file more and more patents, because what happens when we undermine our own work? We underestimate ourselves. We have so many new solutions. We keep thinking about new things, but we don't document them. So I'm inviting and urging again all of you, work together, start writing it, then you will keep improvising, follow the expert, connect with the expert, and then it may become a patentable. Many times your product is very simple and you will find that this product is not patentable. You come up with something and you say, oh, this is very use case solution. But during that journey, you'll find that that process can be patented. EdTech and FinTech, these are two things where I've seen even Wellington students are also working hard. They are innovating in that area also. These are two areas where there is a lot of still scope, because we are using so many mobile payments, wallets, gateways, and whatnot. And I've seen faculty members patenting small processes there. Nothing with some algorithm changes here and there. In India, software you cannot patent. You can just copyright like book, but you can patent the process and you can patent the product. And when you start working on that journey, many times happens that when you start working on one product patent, I heard to lots of experts and innovators, they say that when I started working on this particular product, which I changed just design and all that, at the end, I filed 10 patents for that product and I filed 4 process patents also. So many times we underestimate our own work. So I'm inviting all of you, so don't underestimate your work. Start working on new ideas, be observant, observe, start solving the problems. The system is there to help you, lots of new, and these policies to be adopted. So students and teachers come together, because in committee, even alumni members are also invited in forming this committee to implement this. And you can have a very good policy. You can integrate innovation entrepreneurship, that activities to the pedagogy, learning activities, projects, and there can be different norms which can be adopted. All the norms, the whole policy is there. I'm sure Mr. Sagar must have been discussing this with the higher ups there. And this policy is very soon, you will see in most of the institutes, because even government is also behind the institute to implement this in next 3 months at your level. But government has given one freedom that you decide your own policy. They have given a generic framework. So now at institute level, institute has to take call on that, how deeper you want to go, how vibrant you want to make the culture. Yeah. And it will not damage anything for job seekers. Be assured, job seekers, but even you will get better job seekers, more innovative job seekers, entrepreneurs will be created. Yeah. So job seekers or those kind of people, they need not bother or they need not worry about it. Yeah. It's all about creating that mindset. Taking it ahead, starting pre-incubation activities as institute. I have seen there is a shop in Wellington. I don't remember the name of the shop. It kept changing, I guess. If you can type in the chat box, maybe it will be good for my reference at the end.
You are mentioning the retail store.
Retail store is there at the ground floor. Yeah. So MBA full-time students used to run that. We have seen the marketing students running or some committee members running that particular shop. So that I look at this kind of things also pre-incubation, because you learn a lot about sales, because sales is not joke. You can't sell. Yeah, I cannot sell. If you ask me, I cannot sell a paint to someone. Yeah. So this kind of pre-incubation activities. So many times what happens in first 3 months, students are very vibrant, active, and they ask so many questions, which is very good part. But over a period of time in the academic, they get themselves buried into the academic assignments also. But can we continue that? If you have an office where people can drop their ideas, somebody will validate those ideas in Innovi. You can give them card sheets and cardboards in Innovi, and people come, and instead of waiting for BMC or Government of Maharashtra, Government of India giving problem statements and you offering solution, you come up with your own ideas, you come up with your own problem statements, you give those kind of assignments, and then in Innovi you develop the prototype solution, maybe from clay or card sheets or whatnot. So starting pre-incubation activities at the institutes means that. And pre-incubation doesn't need that you need to have an incubator, you need to have an facility or infrastructure, or you need to have dedicated faculty members, or you need to call Sagar Deshmukh as this and that. No. What he is doing is exactly the same thing. He's trying to make the culture vibrant with support of all the senior faculty members and all. So it can be virtually. Virtually means what? There has to be a system. First is to get the ideas, get the problem statements, and this has to be integrated to academics thoroughly. All assignments can be integrated. In some subjects, though, it's compulsory in MBA design or entrepreneurship course. But in most of the subjects like marketing, can we have combined assignment where students actually do something experiential, where the assignments are linked to work on the new projects and new ideas. They go across Mumbai. Now, I understand this situation is not possible. But yes, now you can do a lot of things virtually also. And you identify problem statements and you offer those solutions. And then somebody evaluate those solutions and you support, institute support that solution, institute reward. Build strong alumni support for prototyping, rewards, mentoring, and funding in future. So these kind of things are required there in pre-incubation facilities. What is in it for faculty members, which I already spoke little bit. So apply for research grants with specific thrust area. So anybody in any field, if you are offering something new, like in science and technology, I know Dr. Pense is there. In information systems, he is there. And Department of Science and Technology offers so many new schemes. There is a department called Mighty. It offers lots of schemes for faculty members, students, teachers, PhD researchers. So we can, even Ministry of Education had an opportunity there called Spark, which IIT Kharagpur is the nodal agency. I have a grant in the field of women entrepreneurship. So it's not that in management school, in humanities, in social sciences, you cannot get the research grants. We have got around 34 lakhs grant together with an Australian university commitment. So government is promised 24 lakhs and we already consumed 10 lakhs. Even during COVID, they are working. Yeah. And it's in the field of women entrepreneurship development. And in December, we got a grant for training faculty members and training women or women entrepreneurs for women entrepreneurship. So we got 4 lakhs rupees DST grant. So Department of Science and Technology, continuously they come up with new schemes. If you go DST, Google, and you go to their page, and you can create your own login even if you don't have the grant, and you can see all the schemes there. You can see how to apply eligibility criteria. And maybe people who have got the grant, they can sometimes first time they can guide you. So there is a lot of opportunity for faculty members. Agni is the initiative. Again, Invest India is the main wing under Ministry of Finance, and Invest India has 2 wings, Agni and Startup India. So Invest India is the backbone for Startup India and Agni. Agni, if you go to Agni website, Agni is an open innovation platform where students, teachers can showcase their innovative ideas, startups. Agni comes with lots of problem statements or hackathons. You can there. They launch lots of corporate hackathons on their page and even Startup India page. You can contribute. They enable you to collaborate with the research laboratories, or you have come up with a solution, but you need one particular technology. And this technology is already developed, but very costly. But Agni gives you a platform to approach any CSR laboratory like National Chemical Laboratory or DRDO kind of organization where technology will be licensed at very low cost. So it's an open innovation platform. If some students in Wellinger or V School has innovated something, you can write to Agni and you can showcase your product there directly on their website. So many opportunities there. NSTDB is the board, National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board, which has come up, which comes not only with incubation schemes or incubators, you can apply for an incubator, but under NSTDB also lots of new schemes keep coming up for funding faculty members for entrepreneurship development programs, MDPs, or not only training programs, but for funding your innovative ideas, which are some S&T domain, science and technology domain. Yeah, Spark I spoke about. So these are the few organizations only, but there are many other ministries and organizations like MSME ministries there now, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. There are institutions like EDII or NISBERT in Noida, which are apex institutions in entrepreneurship. They call for collaborative programs many times where you get access to the funding and you can collaborate with these esteemed organizations and conduct some programs or projects together. At state government also, we can do that. Sometimes we have to go ahead and approach for new projects to the organizations like BMC, where they have lots of funds for this and they don't know how to utilize these funds. So that is where I invite my faculty members to study this. If any support required, Mr. Sagar, I'll be happy to share the links and emails or the connects with all these organizations also.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
There is another opportunity I mentioned, opportunity for become to co-founder and patent innovations. And that is where in management schools, I don't know, I'm a B school faculty, like how do I file patent? Even I'm trying to pursue that. I came up with one product, but I still did not get the time. And because we are so busy in other academic activities. So, but with the help of students, with the help of team, and there can be a patent of 4 people. There is an opportunity, even National Startup and Innovation Policy is mentioned that even faculty member, if that innovator, you are innovating with the student, the innovator agrees, you can have a stake in that particular startup. You can become co-founder. And we have seen this kind of situation in IIT, but now this situation is coming beyond IITs also. So it's not limited to IITs. We can file patents, and that is where process patent is something I think all of you should think, which is a low-hanging fruit. Some experts in the field of patent who write those, they should be called, and for a day workshop, not a 1-hour talk like this, a day workshop can be done to create more awareness on that. This is for my students and faculty members. Just as I spoke about 17 sustainable development goals, I would like to mention here about 8 major sectors of opportunity. I have mentioned the source. I have taken this from Financial Express. These are sectors, but apart from this, I think there is EdTech is something is also there. FinTech already mentioned in different ways here, but a lot of new opportunities. Think beyond Byju's. Yeah, EdTech is not Byju's. Upgrade Byju's, Unacademy. You see different business models. So there is a lot of opportunity for, and all you MBA students are only going to these organizations, working for these people and innovating there, and then the business is growing or they're coming up with new products and services. But can we think of new business models where you can become innovator? So these are the sectors in India. You have lots of scope. And in fact, these sectors across globe, you have lots of scopes. Direct to consumer. Re-commerce is something, there is also lots of scope. And you know, last mile logistics, how important it has become. Today, all of us are at home. Everything is getting served at home. But in that also, that even companies like Amazon, they have last mile logistics partners. Voice-based solutions. Imagine you are going through a lift and many in your building are infected. Voice-based solution, very important. That 3rd floor, you don't have to touch anywhere in the lift. Yeah, so there's so many. Just a low-level example I thought of. Blockchain, all of you might have heard of fintech. Yeah, you might have gone through lots of domain-based sessions. Insurance, medical insurance, and healthcare innovations, which is not mentioned here. But there is a lot of scope. Means we have not seen lots of things in insurance yet, which we have seen in mobile payment gateway. Yet a lot of things to be seen. Healthcare and healthcare IT or health tech innovation, many things to become. Home care, care from home, and you can have this kind of devices. Small devices can be there where everything can be monitored by the doctors remotely, and which is need for an hour today. Yeah, so think of these sectors. This is just an invitation, and that's why I wanted to show this, because only on incubation, yeah, we can't continue talking. So it's very important to see where are opportunities. Why incubators are required? So I think this will be the second last or last slide from my side. Access to entrepreneurial ecosystem. So incubators are well connected to what the organizations which I mentioned. NSTDB was incubation. Centers get grant from NSTDB and Department of Science and Technology. So we are well connected to organizations, and they help us with lots of funding schemes. They help us with access to the ecosystem. There is an association of incubators. You get access to that, where you can connect to mentors across India. You get, being an incubator, you get access to funding agencies. Being an incubator, you get connect to venture capitalists. Being an incubator, you can actually have a pool of mentors. You can have a steering committee. We can expert in those fields, entrepreneurs in those fields, and the what you can say, the technology, not only technology experts, but the domain experts in different fields or whatever specific area incubator want to focus, like automobile cars, electric vehicles, or health tech. You can have the pool of mentors in that field. You can have some big organizations in that field, and there are people who can come and guide the startups that how to take their ideas, how to pilot. They can help for pilot testing. They can help for developing the infrastructure, facility, what kind of machines you should have, what kind of technology you should have at the incubator, which can be used by startups. So it gives access to huge network. So as an incubator, I'm connected to across India, right from Startup India to Agni to accelerators and incubators across India. And even outside India, we are collaborating. Recently, we did one Sweden-India hackathon, where one of my colleagues, Professor Ismail, helped the Sweden embassy to come up with the problem statements from India, and then that's how hackathon was conducted. Yeah, now we are collaborating with multiple organizations. Our recent yesterday's collaboration is with Zone Startups, Mumbai, and they're coming with some series training, typical focus training sessions where we are collaborating with them. We are collaborating with KPIT, a company called KPIT, that they have something called as KPIT Sparkle is the event where they give access to innovators and incubators on one platform. So that is where incubators are very important. For students now, the last attractive proposition I would like to mention here, I'm sure you have been hearing me patiently for the last 40-50 minutes. Support for business activities. Now, out of 21 startups at SCEI, around 11 startups are using AWS. All of you know what is AWS, Amazon's cloud. Worth $5,000 American dollars per startup. We have provided free AWS because we have got tie with Amazon AWS. Worth $5,000. Everyone is using, and it can be extended also. Earlier it was 10,000. Right now we are giving worth 5,000 according to the AWS terms. Adobe Suite, and then we can, being an Symbiosis International University, we have got around 35, 36 educational institutes where students are studying. But out of these, around 25 institutes are having graduate and postgraduate students. Others are one-year courses or PhD courses or like that, where students get access to interns from management, faculty, engineering, Institute of Design, liberal arts, any field, content writing, you get interns, access to interns. So incubator is doing that role because we are an incubator attached to a Symbiosis International University. Yeah. So incubators also provide support to your regular day-to-day business activities. Once your idea, prototyping, of course, we have a very equipped innovation lab. When I say prototyping facilities, or 3D printers are there, laser cutting machines are there, prototyping machines are there, where you can come up with small prototypes, and then you can come up with workable prototypes also. We have innovation lab there to test. Pilot ke liye incubator helps because access to the industry, small and medium scale industry is there. And of course, most important is you can have people there, not only academicians, but we have a pool of mentors who are entrepreneurs in different domains. We have chartered accountant, company secretary, people in the fintech domain, people in the what you can say venture capital industry, or they themselves are investors like that, and they can come and guide the startups how to take their ideas. Because startup after every particular phase, like ideation, then you call it when you are at the business model canvas step, or you say proof of concept, then minimum viable product, and then you are at the pilot one. Every steps the startup would require a very different mentoring support from different set of stakeholders, different experts. Yeah, and that is where incubators come in picture, or accelerators come in picture. Accelerators typically they have They work on the established startups. When I say established startups, means those who have proved their product in the market, they already have some traction, and their accelerators give period of 3 months or 6 months acceleration. Like in Bombay Stock Exchange in Mumbai, there is Zone Startup, which is a typical accelerator. You have some traction. When I say traction, that means you have some customers and you have made some, you have sold some basic samples of product or some early product numbers, 500,000 or so, depending on the product. If it's a big software in B2B, let's say 3 or 4 customers, like that. So accelerators evaluate your product value proposition, and they guide you for positioning your product into the market. They mentor you, they provide you access to some technology, and then they provide you, if you're doing good in this, after 3 months, 6 months, they provide you access to venture capitals or investors. Somebody will invest into 50 crore, 3 crores into. That is where accelerators are different than incubators. Yeah. Opportunity for faculty members to collaborate with different incubators. First is Sagar did program with us as a faculty development program. He attended a training as an entrepreneurship educator. Now he is a trained entrepreneurship educator, certified, where DST was also involved, Department of Science Technology. It was sponsored program by DST. That is an opportunity where you can start nurturing yourself as a mentor, for where you can build yourself for next 2 to 3 years if you work hard. And that's where you can be in the ecosystem, because this is the ecosystem which is growing very fast. So I'm open for discussion and questions now. And with this, I stop my presentation. I was planning 40-45 minutes, but it went up to 55 minutes. Yeah, I hope
No, so
I made justice with the topic. And thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Open for
It was a
questions.
very good session, and it was very informative one. So over to you, and questions open to all. So guys, please ask the questions if you have any, because it's,
Thank you, Dr. Iyer.
so just to add on one more, like some of the students are going for MBA, right? So I will just ask you one small question with regards to the, because they're thinking coming for 2 years MBA program, and how to cope up with them keeping their interest in entrepreneurship, or because they have ideas and all, but as soon as they come up with some solution by doing some research activity and all, the internship starts and then the placement starts. So how to keep them engaged in that entrepreneur kind of activity with your prior experience, if you can share, throw some light.
Yeah.
Because
One thing I
engineering
would
is so
say, see,
for
all of
4 years.
us, today is the era. Sorry, Sagar. Yeah. So today is the era where all of us have to learn to sell. All of us have to learn to sell. So these students, when they are working on these projects, research projects, or anything with the faculty members, sometimes some students are very active. They go and meet faculty members. Like I still remember a lot of people used to go to Dr. Pense, or sometimes even to other faculty members,
जी,
and then you go and then students say, "Ki sir, koi project hai kya? मुझे काम करना है आपके साथ." I have, at personal level also, I have 2 to 3 interns even doing some projects with me at my institute, personal level. And then at SCI, we have hired 6 to 8 interns. They are not working on traditional transactional activity of SCI. Few of them are, of course, they are roped in for graphics and designing. But I am developing a project which is still at the background. So let me open it. So we are working on a knowledge-based system for electric vehicles. Even this is not discussed with Symbiosis a lot, or means a lot of my colleagues are there, because I'm trying to do a groundwork, and after 6 months I will open it up. Okay, but I have hired some interns for that particular project. So for students of MBA, those who want to go for corporate, then nothing wrong. Many students see that, sir, I want to have an experience. Even students from family business say, sir, पहले 4 साल बाद experience, उसके बाद कोई काम नहीं करेगा, हमारी family किसी ने नहीं किया. Fine. But if you work on this project for 15 days, 3 weeks, uh, one year or so, whatever, just a moment, excuse me. Yeah. Whatever time period you work for this particular project or so, showcase, make a proper document. First is do it diligently, do it thoroughly. Okay. It's not only working with the faculty member, because faculty member will, if you ask any faculty member, can you guide me? Nobody will say no. I know the faculty ecosystem well. If you ask faculty member, can you connect me to somebody you know in industry in this project, sir, I will do more. See, if students are asking questions, faculty will never say no, that they will not connect you to industry people. They will not connect you to any alumni. They will never say no. They will give you 10 students, will contact only 2, like that. So I'm not even underestimating students. Students have that much time only because so many academic activities. So can you encash upon these projects, document those projects, showcase that in your biodata, talk about those projects in LinkedIn. I given one assignment to students, like, can you write, you have to write an article, not a LinkedIn post. Write an article on LinkedIn. Write an article on LinkedIn out of 20 marks assignment. If you do a post, we will evaluate you on the 10 marks only. Okay. So it gives you lots of praises. So can you connect to the similar like-minded people in that field? Suppose you are working on sustainability. You are working on options for plastic. I don't see management students coming and working on this. See, if you tell someone, sir, I worked on alternatives for plastic or biodegradable material during my MBA, I did research project, which was more than academics. It was part of academics for 20 marks or 40 marks, but I did this. The corporate guy will see this guy is enthusiastic. This guy is innovative. He works. He knows what to do research. He knows how to make a survey form. He knows how to prove the problem. Even you don't reach to that project to a solution of a biodegradable product. You did not get any solution, but the approach process will give a lot of learning. And this learning helps you. But the only another point is that you have to showcase this learning to corporate. If you see any corporate advertisements today, a lot of my friends for Wellingtons are also recruiters there. And a lot of people are recruiting from LinkedIn. It's not new for all of you. You know it. People are companies are reducing their cost by using LinkedIn effectively. If you see there, people are talking about, are you a problem solver? Are you creative? Are you innovative? What is this? Are you ready to take ownership? Are you proactive? What is this? This is entrepreneurial mindset. So first is that we always advocate entrepreneurship management, or that subject should be there in the first semester. That subject should be there in the first semester of a program. I, along with my mentor, Dr. Vinod Shastri, who is heading Center for Entrepreneurship Development in Bennett University, Noida, the university by Times of India. We did one research across India on entrepreneurship educators. And we found that everyone said that entrepreneurship education, it has to be taught. If entrepreneurship is to be taught, it has to be in first semester, early semesters. If it is in BCom or BBA, it has to be in first or second semester, not in third year. Because then students are saying, pehle batana chahiye. Like that. So you can have this. And second thing, Sagarji, I would like to, sorry, I'm taking more time to answer the question. But every course can we link? So what many times see faculty members have lots of good ideas. What happens in our day-to-day routine? It's not fault of me or you or any faculty members. In day-to-day routine, we can't implement those ideas. What to do? You are 20 mark assignment. थोड़ा चाय पीते नीचे कैंटीन में जाएंगे, or you can go to the first floor canteen, which is elite canteen. No, Wellington में first floor अलग canteen है, where that white shirt वाला guy serves you. Okay, I have good attachment with the canteen guys there, the Shetty there. Yeah. So if you go and sit in canteen, चाय थोड़ा faculty members को बुलाते हैं, and say, what you're teaching marketing? Okay, I'm teaching OB. What you're teaching? Okay. So 3 people, can we give one assignment together where students come here in the foyer? Wellington में बहुत जगह है, vertical बहुत किया है. सर ने तो मतलब Dr. Salunke has done beautiful things there with the support of Dr. Tendulkar sir and all that. Means I never saw those granite blocks on the floors, or हर 2 feet पे socket है laptop connect करने के लिए. This is the beauty, and you have such a system. So चाय पी के or tea, if you can convince your faculty colleague कि 60 mark का एक integrated assessment करते हैं, the student gets an opportunity. एक साइड ये असेसमेंट हो गया, बट आपने एक अच्छा रिपोर्ट बनाते हो, उसका जो प्रोसेस है इसको लिवरेज करो. इफ यू स्टूडेंट्स राइट्स 2 आर्टिकल्स ऑन लिंक्डइन, एंड व्हेन यू सिट फॉर एन इंटरव्यू, यू टेल दिस इज व्हाट आई डिड. I'm sitting in the city. I'm not from Pune, but last 24 years I'm here, few years in Mumbai. I've learned in Pune कि या आपके पास जो है ना जोर जोर से बोलना है, you have to sell yourself. ये पुणे में सिखाया जाता है. तुमच्याकडे जे आहे ते तुम्ही जोरात जोरात मोठ्यांना दुसऱ्यांना सांगायचंय. This is what is taught in Pune. This is what students should do. They have to showcase their project. If it is even not part of academic project, they should go sit with faculty members, do something for 15 days, 3 weeks, anything, a multidisciplinary project, and showcase that. What corporate, see corporate may, suppose you and me are sitting in corporate to select someone, whom you will select, who has worked on some new project, not a traditional, who has worked something without any motivation. That means that guy has something. जैसे क्लास में फैकल्टी मेंबर 60 के क्लास में ना 2-4 बच्चे, बाकी बच्चे बोलते कि ये फेवरेट है सर के, why they are so favorite or so called, होता है, मतलब I have seen, of course मार्क्स में वगैरह कुछ नहीं होता है फर्क, बट नॉर्मली वी कॉल, ओके 3-4 बच्चों को बुला लेते कि अरे आ जाओ मुझे कुछ करवाना है तुमसे, ओके मुझे कुछ काम है, मेरा एक प्रोजेक्ट है उसमें थोड़ा हेल्प करो. Why these people are always called? Same thing in corporate. Who will be selected? Who will be selected? So are students pursuing that? Job करके job नहीं मिलने वाला. If you are a marketing student, you have to excel into marketing. You have to look at what is happening in marketing today. Think beyond social media and digital marketing if you are a marketing student. But if you do not understand people's psychology, if you do not know what is taught in OB, if you do not know after, because see, anybody who is going to become a people manager after 5 years or so, if you do not know how to transform the organization or what exactly requires, if you do not work on those multidisciplinary projects, you will be hired as a sales executive by a company. But if you have worked on some good projects, the company will say, बच्चा अच्छा है, 3 महीने sales में रखो, इसको office में दे, because he has some experience on project, young है but dynamic है, vibrant है, question पूछता है, okay, like this. So that inquisitive mindset has to be so बाहर आओ, मतलब marketing में most of the colleges, any college means marketing के बच्चे sales में post होते हैं, not bad, we require that workforce, but can we go beyond that? Yeah, I just took a marketing example, yeah, don't take it otherwise. Thank you. Some questions are there, let's go ahead.
Yeah. So in Q&A,
would you shed some light on building proof of concept? Wow, it's a very big topic. But building proof of concept is something which you have to take action. First thing is you have to validate your idea. If I want to answer that question in a short way, first is write your idea. And then you see what problem your idea is addressing. Okay, and that's why in our program, which is MBA Innovation Entrepreneurship program, which I am heading, what we do in first semester, we get students accustomed to this particular language. We don't ask them which idea you are working on. We ask them what problem you are trying to solve. And seniors start asking juniors, okay, hi, hello, I'm Yogesh. Okay, what problem you are trying to solve? So they don't ask which idea you are working, which startup you are asking. So this will be start of your POC. Then you say, what alternative solutions are existing? What is your solution? How different is your solution? And a lot of marketing GAN will help you here. Oh, competitive advantage, sustainable competitive advantage, and all those kind of things. Yeah. How different is your solutions? What is that you are using? What is that you are leveraging in the technology? Like that. And then next is, there is a framework called business model canvas. I guess Arjun came and spoke about BMC. Because it is V school, I was keeping track what sessions were happening. It is my school. Yeah. And Arjun is my colleague. Yeah. He is an entrepreneur on campus who helps our students mentoring. So BMC is the framework which will help you for testing feasibility of an idea. It will, on left hand side, it will tell you what efforts required. Right hand side, it will tell you who is your target customer, what value proposition. Once BMC is done, you start making a prototype. If it is a product, make a prototype. It is very important to make a prototype. Cardboard, card sheets का बनाओ, किसी भी चीज का बनाओ. It is wireframe बनाओ. If it is an app or software, you make a wireframe digital business image of it. You show us how it will function. यहाँ click करने के बाद क्या होगा, यहाँ click करने के बाद क्या. Make those filters functional. So that is where you have to work on proof of concept. Yeah. And you have to take a lot of market feedback. When I said BMC, business model canvas, uske pehle, you have to talk to market to prove that problem. How big is the problem? You have to do thorough market research. Yeah. And I will be happy. I do a couple of sessions, of course. Time is a constraint many times. But idea to POC journey is something which we take sessions at incubators and at institute, and which is one of the toughest journey actually in entrepreneurial journey.
We can certainly have this session.
Yes. Any other questions, Sagarji?
There is Rashmi. Do you want to talk?
Reshma has a question.
Reshma.
Yes, sir. My question, sir, Professor Yogesh, is a more fundamental question. See, as we say, necessity is the mother of invention. So unless a student feels the need personally, which you've given some solutions as, problem statements from faculty or the hackathons that are conducted, which make students think. But what I believe is, unless you own or have experienced a hindrance in your own life, to feel completely one with the problem may not happen. Okay. Or they've
Yes.
had, and they're very young. So unless they've had the opportunity to crystallize an impediment as a real problem in their mind, they may not identify it, because see, this is something that'll go on for 2-3 years at least. So they will
Yes.
develop a passion to follow through only if they identify with it.
Yes.
Right. So how do we really go about that process?
One perspective I already gave, as you mentioned, that we have to integrate a couple of things into our academics now. Because if we look at always at entrepreneurship education as a cherry on the cake, ये तो 60 में से 2 लोगों के लिए होता है, and that one faculty member is motivated and let him do it what he wants, एक corner में कोई करता है. It has happened with entrepreneurship education, but now it's time to make it part of cake, make it part of your pudding, integrate. So it's not only about having one course on entrepreneurship. Of course, Wellinger has multiple courses in your MBA design. Can those courses be transferred? Means I'm not giving any consulting suggestion like that, but can we have those line of courses for your traditional courses? We should include. One. Second, we should have our academic activities integrated, which I already spoke, like your 20 marks assignment, 40 marks. So those kind of projects to be given, developed, where students get sensitized. So Reshma ji was talking about sensitizing. Yeah. So sensitize karne ke liye, we should have something. I will tell you some success. Like we have 2 weeks of social internship in our program, in MBA entrepreneurship program, in after Diwali immediately, and that can be at hometown or whatever choice of NGO. But we tell students we don't want to work with that NGO like only for their purpose. 15 दिन जाके Robin Hood army में काम करो. No, it's about automatically sensitize हो जाते हैं indirectly, and they develop solution. And one of our student came with a funding value proposition for all NGOs to showcase their products, and he came with this startup idea. See, means he got such a sensitized कि सर NGOs को funds नहीं मिलते हैं, and इसमें बहुत problem है. NGOs के पास जो product बना लेते हैं underprivileged लोगों से या और so they can't sell those products, and he came with a platform for this kind of thing. Yeah. So one is sensitizing students by different means. Send them on field. Okay. Send them to means we can send them to so many places. Yeah. In Mumbai is so crowded place. Means of course in COVID it's not possible. Yeah, pandemic is not possible. And where they observe the situation, they come up with a problem statement. That is one GAN which I already shared. Okay. The third thing I would like to emphasize here is storytelling. Storytelling, which I did not, means this was not the part of it, but storytelling is something which is very important. Yeah. Storytelling, unless we share the success stories. So one is in every program you might have seen, or Wellinger has so many alums who are entrepreneurs. And Wellinger has very good connect with corporates. And every day I see there are corporates coming to Wellinger. Every day. And you have a lot of biggies like Amitabh Bachchan is coming to Wellinger, or Birla is coming to Wellinger. But beyond that, can we have very young entrepreneurs? And can we have entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs? Yeah, coming and sharing their story. I do entrepreneurship development programs in my incubator. Believe me, I call 1 year, 2 year old experienced entrepreneurs, because the challenges they share, no, which are live challenges. On 17th, now there is Women Entrepreneurship Development Program. On 17th, I have called one 2018 pass out, 2019 pass out, and 2021, the pursuing student. Those all three have the enterprises, their own enterprises, 3 girls. But why I'm calling those very young girls? Because they will share, because what happens, the road to success becomes very beautiful after 10 years. And I'm not saying 10 years old entrepreneur will not share the actual challenges. He will be more seasoned, but we should also bring very young entrepreneurs. That is one, when they come and they share their stories. The second point on these lines only, we as a faculty members, even I'm learning this particular thing, should develop this skill of storytelling. Yes, I'm also learning. One of my colleagues is very good at that. Yeah. And Sagar knows him, Ismail, Professor Ismail. Yeah. Storytelling is something works very well. Storytelling is something which works very well. So Reshmaji, one part of your answer is, which I already spoke and I told you about, integrating those things and linking that. The second part is storytelling, which again, which becomes, because one is not only about engaging that audience to that story, but this has been proved by research that this is the most effective way of in any field. If I tell you a story that how I got that entrepreneurship development project of 24 lakhs, it will create in 146 people here, 147, 5 will say, oh, something interesting. That is what is storytelling as a power. Yeah. So that is one of the tools. And there are now trainings. See, blessing in disguise because of pandemic. Now there are so many people in US who were very good storytellers. They opened their training sessions virtually now. And we never had access. We used to have so many $1,000 were required in crores of rupees were required in fact, or lakhs of rupees, which you can do in some thousands now. In India also there are people who are like good storytellers. So that is something, if we share some success stories or failure stories also, that is also very important. I hope I have answered the question partially. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There is no fixed answer to that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Swapnil Dambe sir, who is heading the Innovi lab, so he has a question. Swapnil sir.
Thank you, Professor Yogesh, for this lovely interactions and inspiring presentations, first of all. So it was really great to interact with you. So I have a couple of questions for all of us, or maybe you can answer this. So you talked about sensitizing or building that mindset. Do you really think that the culture has a huge impact? Our culture has a huge impact on the mindsets or the personality or individuals. So there is a pattern based life where we all are living. So how to break that pattern? Okay. And how to bring that natural livings? Typically animals live their natural lives. We all are living in a cultural based life. So how we can do that? What's the best way to break that pattern? That is one thing. Secondly, would you like to share any story about any startup under your umbrella which has got from idea to the industrialization of that particular idea? That will be great if you can just quickly help us on these two things.
Yes, sure. So yes, culture matters a lot, and in educational institute also, where we have a culture of placement oriented culture, it's very tough to promote entrepreneurship. And what I see, one of the initiate steps, when you climb those steps and you see innovate, and people ask, ye kya hai? Which actually triggers a very different mindset. It's MBA is not only about placement. We have to work on innovative products. Somebody who comes to the counselor also, he gets that intention. So artifacts or infrastructure also is one aspect of culture which I see is Wellinger is very active, even in that vertical situation. I mean, in Mumbai there is no space, yeah, but even in that vertical situation. So artifacts is one where suppose like I spoke about that retail store in the ground floor. That is also one aspect of culture where students are working on the projects. So can like couple of things like selling artifacts. A lot of alums visit Wellinger, a lot of people visit, and so many meets are happening, events are happening where we are talking about non-pandemic situation. Where we have those Wellinger mugs, t-shirts, and caps, which will be all designed by students, which will be all sold by students. They will find the resource. The institute will just provide them access to everything and enable them to do it. Okay. And if any minor investment required, because of course it will be sold, it will be completely on transaction based. So these kind of things to be showcased. Second, can we showcase, suppose last 10 years, if we get 15 alumni from Wellingers, what are their products and stuff? Can those be showcased? Again, these artifacts also matters a lot. Oh, this is what my senior in 2007. Oh, he's from my place. I'm from Nasik. He's also from Nasik. Like that, some people connect. Okay. That is one. I already spoke about students coming and talking about that. But in this situation, we can develop small series, podcast, where 10 minutes we can call entrepreneurs, and not everybody is like, it's not possible to call everyone at the particular, like I requested Sagar, please give me morning session because evenings are a little tough. Yeah. So it's not possible. So can we ask 10 entrepreneurs or 3 entrepreneurs, you have meeting, you have recording at your end, send that recording, we will share with students. Yeah, like that. Sometimes to motivate the students, you have to link it to their some of the activities or something which is very close to students, what they are doing, like that. So culture, I just give an example. Right now, recently I got one consulting assignment cracked at one of the biggest corporate, which is US based MNC manufacturing company. And they have an innovation and design center in Pune. You know, Pune and Bangalore is the hub for design centers. Now India is now hub for around, means just an information for all my MBA people. who are placement or who are thinking of job, it's good opportunity. There are 1,000 technology and innovation centers in India. 1,000 Indian companies and MNCs. You name a company, it is there in India. Yeah. So I got one consulting assignment cracked with an American MNC, a manufacturing company, where they already have an innovation center in Pune. And the job of my consulting or my job there is to promote entrepreneurial mindset, which I sold the idea. They came up with one-liner problem statement. Yogesh, everything is fine at our innovation center. We are a complex matrix organization. 17, 18 business units are there across globe. Our innovation center, people sitting there, they report to business unit, they design for them. But vibrance nahi hai. That was the problem statement. कि everybody is 5, 7, 8 साल हो जाते हैं, उसके बाद ना everybody is fixed, job हो गया, fix हो गया, वाकड़ में, पुणे में flat हो गया, खत्म. I said, okay, let us develop a problem statement out of it. ये vibrance नहीं was the problem statement. So culture and entrepreneurial mindset, whatever we are doing now, it's a cultural intervention. And it's a time, I really thank Dr. Dambe here. See, means you triggered this and it's a time. I'm not saying this is all from input I got from you and Dr. Iyer said something. This is the time for academic institutions to have this cultural change. And the only way we can support this cultural change that I am facing this problem. Sagar will face this problem. Okay, I have not interacted a lot, but he said if people start talking about, oh, tumhara IIC, your IIC, your program, when we start looking at it that it is our, okay, everyone means all faculties, staff, students, and all that, and that will be one of the biggest cultural change. कि हमारा IIC का क्या हुआ जिसमें सागर is leading the IIC, like that we can say. जब तक हम तुम्हारा IIC बोल रहे कुछ नहीं होने वाला, वो सागर का ही IIC. जब तक हम गवर्नमेंट ने बोला है करके एक्टिविटी कर रहे कुछ नहीं होने वाला. So another thing about culture, we have to support students and alum very strong way, because alums are brand ambassadors, I feel. In what way? I am running a program, MBA in Innovation Entrepreneurship, and we were going through, all of us today also, now we are not in post-COVID now, we are again in COVID era. In July, August, we started some initiatives, and then we called some alums, ki aur kya kar sakte? And one startup was sharing, and it was a tea talks. We arranged some informal discussions. And Durgesh, one of our students, so I will share that story also, Durgesh's story also. So he struggled a lot. Initially, he came up with some idea that senior citizens के लिए कुछ करेंगे. We'll bring senior citizens from their home. उनके लिए day activity करेंगे. बोला कैसे लाओगे घर से? नहीं सर गाड़ी प्रोवाइड करेंगे. बोला लॉजिस्टिक्स में कितना कॉस्ट लगेगा? कब ड्रॉप करोगे? कुछ हो गया तो क्या? Who will take care? इतना feasible है क्या? बॉम्बे में चलेगा, पूना में चलेगा? एक सिटी में थोड़ा बहुत 10-12 लोग हाँ बोलेंगे. सो they did market research, failed. They went to geriatric homes. They provided कि नहीं ये नहीं चलने वाला, day activity जैसे kids के लिए होता है ना, day school workshops like that, senior citizens. हाँ, so they got something. And Durgesh tried a lot of market research, spoke to a lot of people. Then in second semester he said कि sir कुछ तो करना है इसी field में. He went back. February, March, 10th March, everyone went back to home last year. And after 1 month he calls. सर कुछ किया है आपसे मीटिंग चाहिए. ठीक है आ जाओ. And then Durgesh in a meeting he came, sat with a box in his hand. I said, Durgesh, what is this? So this is his startup's name is Fosteru. Sir, this is Fosteru box. क्या है? Sir, this is a package for senior citizens I came up with after a lot of market research. You know, last year हम लोग ये बोल रहे थे एक्टिविटी उनको गाड़ी से लाएंगे, गार्डन में लेके जाएंगे, रिसोर्ट में लेके, ये सब बंद हो गया. And after 3 pivot हो गए उसके, 3 times he changed his idea, and a lot of mentoring support was given. And then he came up with an idea. Said ये Fosteru करके box है. You can see the website and LinkedIn of Durgesh. 16 things are packaged in one box for senior citizen. Some creams are there, some bandage tapes are there, which are very essential for somebody who is above 55-60. Nowadays senior citizen above 65 बोलते हैं लोग, 60-65 तक लोग ऐसे ही काम कर रहे हैं, okay, या 70 तक कर रहे हैं, and like that. But he came up with that value proposition, and then again lots of mentoring started, because then we connected this particular thing. After that, what he did first is he collaborated with one of the biggest organization in Baroda. Durgesh is it from Baroda, and he collaborated with an organization which support senior citizens. They have not Vruddhashram as such, but it is a geriatric support system complete. center, geriatric care center. He collaborated with them. That is the first thing he did. So entrepreneurs bring resources together. So it's not, I will do everything. No. Now a lot of mentoring started. Durgesh sir, sales में problem आएगा because people are saying ये 16 में से 4 चीजें मेरे पास है. So he did modular, 2-3 boxes he came up with. You can see on Google or Facebook. I will share maybe with Saga. Next thing mentoring started. We gave reference of a box called Saregama. You know, there is that radio we get Saregama, 5,000 songs in one box. Is it a great innovation? Is it very great innovation? No. 5,000 सॉन्ग आज की डेट में सी जब सारेगामा इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ था, लोगों के पास ये था, लोगों के पास आईपॉड था, लोगों के पास पेन ड्राइव था, कार में पेन ड्राइव से चल रहा है, एवरीथिंग वाज देयर. व्हाट दे डिड, हाउ द एडवर्टाइजमेंट लुक लाइक, and what they did, gifting. You can give to your parents, you can give to your in-laws, you can give to your uncle, and that's why you see Saregama box even in crossword also. That's why you see in any mall also, you'll go big shops, you will see Saregama box, and online also. And they kept price very normal, 6,000 to 7,000. They decorated that box. They gave all options there. FM, that is about product design. But we gave this example to Durgesh. When he was struggling with this, we said, now you advertise, because in Gujarat or Baroda also, a lot of people are there who are staying in foreign countries, US, Europe, or and their parents are there. They say, they are the people who are going to pay you, but they will give this to their parents and in-laws, and people will give them on birthdays and anniversaries. And there his marketing picked up. So that's how we have to look at it. Is it a great innovation? Answer is no. But is it a great value proposition? Answer is yes. Then how you pursue that value proposition, how you bring that value proposition to market. Next step, what Durgesh did, he collaborated with a lot of pharma companies. Okay. But after that, then this modularity, it was not giving him a lot of profit. He said, sir, because इसमें जब proposition सब change होता है, तो pharma company gives me only when I purchase in mass, then only they give me huge discount. Then how do I make money? You know what he did? His father is retired. He convinced his father to have one franchisee of one of the biggest generic pharma company in Gujarat. He started a generic pharma company franchisee store. Now, where all that in his box, it is there in his shop. It is there in his warehouse. So he need not go to anyone. So he need not go to produce or purchase in mass for to get at a lower cost and make at least some profit while making this poster box. That is where he's innovating. Next step, now he is going and collaborating with that particular geriatric care center, and he will be providing services also. Now he is coming with online services also. Very soon he will be starting home care collaborations also for geriatrics. So it's a continuous journey where we have to modify our proof of concept, and it's something he started with minimum viable product, and then he kept modifying. Yes. Yes, sir. Professor Iyer raised hand. Yes, sir.
Iyer, sir, you can unmute it.
I think sir is on mute. Iyer, sir, you can unmute and talk.
सागर, आपण अनम्यूट करू शकतो का सरांना? Iyer sir, you want to say something?
Yeah, 1 minute. I am just trying. You want to put you on mute? It was a very good session. I enjoyed Yogesh.
Thank you so much.
And I must compliment you for making it a very meaningful session. And you have actually stirred some thoughts in my mind. And I'm going to have a small little chat with Vaishali and Sagar and Amey after this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Professor Yogesh, it was a very wonderful session, and very interesting, and you have shared so many things in the research and ISP, IIC, and very openly you opened all the cards and shared the success stories, failure stories. So many things learned from you, Professor Yogesh. Thank you so much.
There is one question in the box. Shall I answer that?
One question is there.
Yeah.
The Amay is going to ask something like, what is the early failures for early stage startup entrepreneurs? So just one question, if you can answer it.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Amay, please go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to ask, like, can you share what big mistakes do entrepreneurs do, early stage startup entrepreneurs do? So can you share,
Yeah.
throw some light on it?
It's very tough question, but I will try to attempt, because I would share something with all of you that the program which I am running is a specific entrepreneurship program, and I have seen around 400 ideas in last 6 years, and I have seen 60 successful startups. So I will share the link with of the successful startups also. They are into everything: retail, fashion, lifestyle, technology, everything is there. Some people have spin-off of family business. uh, the early failures, the very early failures, is something is people are in hurry, that I want to see the results immediately. Means it's one of my student, one of the favorite students. I told him this. I'm sure it won't be offending to anyone. So giving disclaimer before I say, कि before engagement ceremony you are asking कि बेटा होगा या बेटी पहले decide करते हैं. Yeah. So many startups कि सर इस idea पे काम करूंगा सर, साल का 25 लाख तो मिलेगा ना. Like that. Arey, first is that you have to work on that idea. You have to prove that how that big is the problem. Yeah. So one thing is that people work on ideas and not on problems. That is one failure. Another point. So we have to change the language talking to students, that what problem you are trying to solve. Because see, you and me, all of us are customer. When you are going to pay 100 rupees to someone, जब तक आपका कोई problem solve नहीं होता है उस product buy करने से, then people are paying. People are paying. Like, and there are so many small examples which are coming up around all of us, where people have, and people, if you come up with a value proposition, people will pay you more. Like a lot of vegetable, like Pune is a city which is connected to a lot of rural areas. So vegetable wala said, no touch, nothing. Okay, fine. 250 flats, or there is a colony of bungalows and society. They'll say, sir, 150 रुपए का vegetable का पैकेट है, 250 रुपीस का भी पैकेट है. People paid them कि आके उठा के लेके जाओ, मोबाइल में ऑर्डर करो, okay, or just order it. You just come and pick it up and pay me on Google Pay. I don't see you, you don't see me, I don't touch you, you don't touch me. I don't touch that packet. I have kept it in my rickshaw auto, बड़ा टाटा एस जैसा. You just come pick it. You just say आपका नाम बोलो, मुझे मोबाइल में जीपे दिखाओ, आप उठा के लेके जाओ. कुछ नया रॉकेट, no value proposition. So 150 का वर्थ नहीं होगा, but during this situation what you do, you are preventing the touch, unnecessary touch, and which is not favorable in our fair today. So that is one. And third thing, people fall in love with their ideas, and this, I think many mentors would have spoken about this on such forums. If it's good because it's my idea, we fall in love with that idea. What happens though, if that idea, when we bring that idea in the form of a product, it may be service in market, it doesn't remains you. My product in market is actually your product, then only you are going to buy. So when I fall in love with my idea, I stop listening to people feedback. That I have seen very closely with lots of entrepreneurs. So falling in love with the idea is fine. It is fine up to the moment you are passionate to work on it. But beyond that technicalities, we have to open for the feedback. Many students, they don't like feedback from peers. Yeah, I've seen that. And they don't discuss their ideas openly with sometimes their peers. So one of the first principle in entrepreneurship is open, discuss your ideas open. Yeah, that is one. Your question has triggered something more. So give me 1 more minute to complete that particular thing. This is something which I learned from someone, not my own. So we did one training by Dr. Hashim from United Nations Development, UNIDO, Bahrain. They are the one who are very good trainers in incubators. They have trained across around 56 countries across globe. They have trained the incubators and startup mentors. So there was a training arranged for us. And Dr. Hashim from UNIDO, you can check on Google, Dr. Hashim, UNIDO, Bahrain. He gave 2-minute story. He said it's very possible in Indian kind of scenario, to come up with a value proposition or solve some problem and make good profit. How? Because you have a population dividend, huge population. So he said, आप एक 10 रुपए का, can you come up with a 10 rupees thing or 20 rupees thing for Not even 1/10. 1/10 of 1/10 of 1/10 of 1/10. That means 1 lakh people will consume per day or per week, and you make 1 rupee profit into that. Kitna ho gaya? So महीने का, suppose 1 lakh people consume per week. So 4 weeks in a month is 4 lakh people consume, and you make 1 rupee profit. For all my young students, colleagues here, मैंने कहा 4 लाख कोई कंपनी रिक्रूटमेंट नहीं दे रहा है MBA का, कोई नहीं कंपनी दे रहा है अभी ड्यूरिंग कोविड तो छोड़ ही दो आप. And I have seen this in one of the B plan competition where I was judging the competition. There was this Symbiosis Institute of International Business. There is an MBA program called Agri program. They came up with, sir, ये energy bar है 10 रुपए का, हमें 1 रुपया प्रॉफिट मिलता है. I said, how are you going to sell? Sir, we are going to talk to government where they have 500 schools in one district run by Jilla Parishad. तो 500 स्कूल में रोज लगेगा सर एनर्जी बार. एंड वन ऑफ माय कलीग ऑब्जेक्टेड कि 50 पैसा प्रॉफिट मिला है, तू वॉल्यूम देखना. एंड सी सच अ गुड वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन, बिकॉज खिचड़ी पक नहीं रहा है, हाइजीन इश्यूज है, करप्शन है, डोंट नो, राइस डजंट रीच देयर, एनीथिंग. आई डोंट वांट टू क्रिटिसाइज एनीथिंग सिस्टम, बट एनर्जी बार, it is everyone, all of us. Means one of my student has a startup, Nutex. You can see Nutex on Facebook or Amazon, Nutex. It's for all of us. When we are on, now we are at home, but when we are at workplace, 11 o'clock or 4 o'clock hunger के लिए कुछ चाहिए होता है, and that's why sniffers or like those kind of things are there. Sneakers, sorry. But this 10 rupees energy bar, if you make 50 paisa profit, and you see one district has 500 schools where these midday meals are served across India. वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट, एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में भी बेचते हो तो 2 लोगों का, इवन वो एंटरप्रेन्योर शादी भी कर लेता है तो आराम से चलेगा. बिकॉज हाउ मेनी लैक्स यू विल मेक, यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट इट. बट व्हाट आई एम इनवाइटिंग ऑल ऑफ यू और ऑल ऑफ अस, आई एम अर्जिंग इज, कैन वी थिंक ऑफ सिंपल इनोवेशंस व्हिच विल सॉल्व day to day ignored problems. Because see, problems are problems for so many years, we have forgotten that there are problems, these are problems. So we are coping with those problems. Can we come up with a simple innovation where we will make it for masses, 10 lakh people in your city? It will give you 50 paisa profit, and there will be repetitive. Can we come up with this kind of products and services? This is what Americans, the way they think, scaling. Yeah, and that's how they are able to, with the help of technology, they are scaling. But not only technology, agri, food, any sector, we can come up with this kind of, because our problems are different. Silicon Valley model will not be replicated here. Our problems are different. And for every problem in rural, urban area, we can have this kind of solutions. And I'm happy to say that people are doing that. In rural area, people are doing that. And now you will see, like we saw Mahendra Singh Dhoni, a small town person coming and becoming a captain. Somebody has asked question in the chat box, why more innovations? Yes, more innovators are coming because they are vigilant to the problems there. They are facing that pain, and they have got the same education you have now in cities, the urban people. And that's why they are able to solve the problems. Because their mindset is more inquisitive, more they are questioning more, they are more curious. Cities में क्या है ना, 2 BHK flat में हम लोग एकदम relaxed हो गए. We are relaxed. So scarcity is the mother of innovation. Somebody said, Dr. Vaishali also earlier said this. Scarcity नहीं बची है city में. So city में innovation कम हो रहा है. And that's why urban. So I am indirectly answering that question also. I don't want to any question unanswered. So sorry, Mr. Amay, I extended that answer to something else. Yeah, but I'm still urging all of you कि एक छोटी चीज करते हैं, एक लाइफ में एक innovation. This is something which I am bringing now at SCI. एक लाइफ है ना, एक ही लाइफ, एक लाइफ में एक इनोवेशन, एक प्रोसेस इनोवेशन, एक प्रोडक्ट सर्विस इनोवेशन, एक पेटेंट. जैसे फैकल्टी मेंबर्स के लिए कंपलसरी एक स्कोपस पब्लिकेशन अभी आ गया है, ईयरली 1 स्कोपस पब्लिकेशन. वेरी सून, बिलीव मी, एक पेटेंट आ जाएगा. और नॉट फॉर द सेक, बट बच्चों के साथ काम करके, बिकॉज यंगस्टर्स आर वेरी क्रिएटिव, उनके साथ काम करके वी कैन रियली डू लॉट ऑफ. सो दैट्स ऑल.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll just brief up this what we discussed today, and just giving a little bit small vote of thanks. So we learned many things with your Professor Yogesh sir, starting from understanding what is entrepreneurship, it's why we need to start a new business, what is innovation. It's all about changing a mindset to solve a problem through innovative mindset. We also discussed why we need to become entrepreneur. Not only entrepreneur, but entrepreneur is also an important aspect in our life, and we need to go ahead with it. Why to work on new ideas, then how to link SDG goals with projects and develop new solutions. Then the different schemes we provided by the government, like Rajiv Gandhi Technology Commission, Maharashtra government, DST, research fundings and all. Thank you for giving some very good suggestions with respect to the funding projects. Then Startup India funding opportunity for the seed funding projects for new entrepreneurs who are going to start the new ideas and come up with new ventures. We also discussed that don't wait for the perfection, but please register your company when you are in campus. Have a trial and error, write up, and speak up to patent expert if they can have a patentable project or process. We discussed key aspects of policy, funding opportunities for students and faculties also. The last and the least, what we are the main crux of, like, don't underestimate your work. Have a mastery in storytelling. Just go ahead, explore yourself, patent your work, and that's the guru mantra which I can just get in 2 lines. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for connecting and sharing all the
Thank you so much.
statements and all the session. Thank you, faculty members and students, for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for giving me opportunity
Just
to come back to V School.
Yeah, Professor Yogesh
Yes,
definitely will get back to you, and you have a good relation, and you are an ex-student of Pelinker. Nice meeting you today, and definitely will be in touch with the
Thank you so
multiple
much.
initiatives.
Thank you,
Sure.
Professor
Thank
Dambe,
you, sir.
Shruti ji, and thank you, Professor Iyer. Thanks, Sagar, for arranging all these things, and all the best to all your efforts. And I'm sure it won't be called Sagar's IIC or so. It has been the case in all the institutes, wherever I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
So
so
we
much, and
use a
wish you all the best.
terminology actually. We care, we share, and we link. That you must be aware of that. We school
Yes.
philosophy.
Yes.
We is the new I.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So
thank you
much,
so much, sir.
Professor Yogesh.
And
Thank
let's
you.
meet up tomorrow. Let's meet up again. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
See you.
Bye.